Oh, I'm not gonna upload that video. uh, so I just fixed a thing. And I listened back to the video, and I'm not very well, unfortunately. Here's what I fixed. There you go. You can look at it. Fix envelope. No, parameter disabling. Yeah, I've been spending a lot of the time this morning just coughing into the microphone, but maybe it's finished now. Maybe I'm not going to cough anymore. And also, I'm just even more. I'm just mumbling more than I usually do, because I'm not very well. Right, what was I doing? Oh yeah, let's look for more to-dos. So all of these to-dos need to be fixed before the end of this refactor. Yes, this is what I just looked at. Okay. This stuff is dead. I assume this stuff is the same, yeah. Manipulators are all working, as far as I know. Sorry. Yes, this is, I think, an accurate comment. No, same thing here. Clean up dead code. So envelope data exists in several different formats in different parts of the program. A lot of what audio programming is just for me, I find is converting data into different formats so that it can be used in different contexts, and getting data from one place to another. So in the case of envelope data, by the time it gets to the audio engine, the envelope data needs to be in a particular format for the Blink API to understand it. But it also, there's one other place where so that's what's happening here. I'm generating Blink envelope data. But it also needs to, the reason I'm doing it here, which is in the UI thread, nothing to do with the audio engine yet, is because it's also needed. Let me just. Is that going to build quickly, or do I? Let's just open the old version. Oh no, it's built. Now I've lost my train of thought because I had to do a build. Oh yeah. So when you're looking at an envelope, when you hover over this line, it prints the value, as you can see. There's a little number printed there. And that value is actually coming from the plugin. The plugin is responsible for generating that value. So what blockhead is doing is, as the host, the blockhead is passing all this envelope data into the plugin in the UI thread, and it's passing that envelope data in a specific format, so that the plugin can generate that value. And there's a few other things that I have to generate the envelope data in the UI thread for as well. It's not just that value, but that's the main one, is I want to hover over that line and print a value. So I have to generate this blink envelope data in the UI thread, and that's for envelopes. But for sliders, which is what these ones are, where I've said I don't think this is actually needed. I actually don't need the blink envelope data, the blink slider data for anything in the UI thread. I only need it in the audio thread. So that's why I put this to do here, saying just we should probably get rid of this. And actually, this function isn't actually referenced anywhere. Oh yeah, it is. It's referenced here. The point is, I think if I just delete this function and then delete this function and then fix all of the compile errors, I think everything will just work fine, because those, at the end of the day, that data is not being used for anything. So even though it's needed here, I can delete this and then delete this function and do the same thing in here. Because it's just a waste of time to generate. It's pretty fast to generate that data, but it's just pointless because it's not used for anything. It's used for envelopes, but not for sliders. Okay. So I have a feeling this will just compile, even though I deleted a function from these interfaces here. This process data array that I'm returning here is the data formatted in a way that it can be transformed by the manipulator system. So that's what that is. Yeah, there we go. It just compiles. So those functions aren't even referenced anywhere. That makes sense. Okay, I'm not even gonna. Okay. Clean up dead code. Let's continue with these to-dos. That one I'm gonna keep. This is working correctly, I think. Course shouldn't be baked until bus is ready. So this is the send and receive buses it's referring to, and when you drag out a send bus like this, you see it has to allocate memory. As you can see in the top left hand corner of the block, it's allocating buffers. And when it finishes allocating the entire buffer, yeah, this happens. It's just all this is doing is triggering a bake, and it all seems to be working. So what was the point of this comment that I added with 3 question marks after it? I think it's just because I didn't want first of all, it's called set bus ready and it's not setting anything. I think it's just because it looked a bit weird to me that it's basically just a trigger rather than I'm not setting anything. Yeah, this is fine. I'll just leave it. Next one. It feels really good to like whittle down on all these to-dos. Okay, this stuff, effective size changed, output changed. Yeah, Don't care about that. Is this even necessary? So this is in the deletion function. Cancelling of baking is something that I have not addressed yet, because I've rewritten the baking system entirely. I think at the moment the only situation in which baking gets cancelled is when a newer version of the block needs to be baked and it's in the middle of already baking. It will abort the current bake and start again. We'll put it back onto the queue. But I also need to cancel baking if something gets deleted. Yeah, okay, so this shouldn't be here anymore, but it should be somewhere. At the moment it's nowhere. Let me just demonstrate that, just to myself more than to you. So if I create a massive block here, and then create some kind of expensive to bake effect, like this. Oh, that is probably too expensive. Ah, well, first of all, bearing in mind this is in debug mode, so it's going to be going slower than it normally does. Oh, is this baking this one? Actually. Now it's baking the reverb. It didn't even bake it. Look at that. It's broken. Okay, maybe I'll look at this error then instead. Okay, effect baking is not working at the moment, it looks like. It was working yesterday at some point because I was playing around with it. So I've broken something at some point, it looks like. Why is that taking so long? That's interesting. It's taking longer than I expect to bake this top block. It shouldn't take that long. What's it doing? What? What is it doing? Interesting. Let's get rid of this. It's so slow. It is debug mode, but even in debug mode it should be going... Should it be going faster? It is a very large block. I guess it's because I was comparing it to this reverb, which in general should be more processor intensive than the sampler. But the thing is, it's clearly not baking the reverb at all. So maybe that's why it's so fast. Okay, so the speed of this bake is... The waveform was fucked up there as well. Okay, the reason it's so slow is just because it's in debug mode. Okay. Alright, so the only thing I'm looking at here is the effect baking. Let's see what's going on. Audio render. Let's have a look. Let's go here. What is this file? Okay. So jiggle it and see what happens. So this is inside the baking thread at the moment. Oh, I'm just blowing my nose. Right. What's going on? Let's have a look. One track. With 2 lanes, it should be. 2 lanes, yes. So it's going to render the baked sampler block first. Should do. Oh, it didn't. Oh. Okay. This is something that I changed yesterday. Okay, so this snapshot is broken. Bake. It's this that's the issue. Jiggle it again. I think it's filtering out. Oh, it shouldn't be. Let's see, you should have 1 track, yes, with 2 lanes. So it adds these 2 lanes. And for each lane we should filter out dead cores, 7670. This shouldn't do anything because all of the cores are used. No! What? I want to see that again. Lane cores. I have 1 core on this first lane. What is it? 70. 70. And then the alive cores is 76 and 70. Excuse me? Am I doing this idiom wrong? The arrays remove if thing. What's going on here? Alive. 76, 70. Oh, these aren't sorted. Okay. I'm doing a binary search and it's not a sorted list. Yeah. So that would be in here. It should be a sorted list. Is this recursively? Okay. Let's just sort the list. Okay. Where else am I making that mistake? I wonder. That's my stomach. Can you hear my stomach? Let me just check this. Are these? Oh yeah, I sort these here. Okay. Should be good. I'm looking for this one. Okay. Okay, there we go. What was the other thing? Fix baking issue. So what was I looking at before I noticed that? It was one of the to-dos that I was looking at. What was it? I've lost it. What was I looking at? Oh yeah, cancelling. So the point I wanted to make. So it's just doing 2 bakes, yeah. So if a baking operation is happening, like it is happening here, if I delete this block while it's baking, it should cancel it. That's the way it currently works. But in my new baking system, I haven't set that up yet. So let's do that. Let's do that. Yes. How do I do that? If something is erased, if is baking type. Oh, I changed the way baking works. The bakery font. I mean the interface for this stuff. Alright. Let's do this. Oh my god, my stomach is really loud. I should probably eat something. Triggers. Bake. And erase. Or cancel, I should say. Okay. Oh look, I already have this. Yeah. Okay. I want to append it rather than just overwrite it. So it's not going to work because it's const now. All right. Okay, fine. Triggers bake. What is this doing? Okay. So I just remove it from the baking list, and that should remove it automatically. If it's in the queue, then what? Here it is. If it's in the queue, then it's just discarded, yeah. If it's not in the queue. I mean, if it's not in the list. If it is in the queue but not in the list, okay. So I have a list of bakes that I want to cancel. Some of them might be in progress, or at least one of them might be in progress, and some of them might be in the queue. And I'm just going to iterate through them. If it's in progress, then I set this abort token, which aborts the current bake. And then I just erase from the list if it exists. And then that doesn't remove it from the queue, but when it's processed in the queue, it will see it's not in the list anymore, and then just discard it and move on to the next node. Okay. So now I need to actually where is it? Yeah. Yes. Here's what I'm going to do. Bakery fix. Triggers. Okay. Just copy them in, it's fine. Okay, yeah. And then commit. So now here, I should get some compile errors. Just one. Cool. Bakery triggers bake. Okay, and then when something is erased, when a core is erased, if it's a baking type, then insert I can't do it here. I should really change this, but I can't be bothered. I mean, I should change the interface for those that apply. Okay, I'm gonna have to add it here. Cancel baking. Cancel baking. Bakery node. This one. Bakery node type. Okay. We go down to here. Make sure I add this. This is kind of it's kind of silly how I have this in direction, but I'm just being lazy at the moment. Cancel baking, and then I add cancel node. Nope. Cancel. Okay. Yeah, it worked. Cool. So robust. I don't know if loops are working. I don't think I've tested it. They are not. That makes sense, I guess. Loop. There's no interface for it even. Okay. How do loops work? Loop. Add loop. Data engine loop data is not a thing anymore. Okay. Add loop, remove loop. Okay. Right. Let's do this then. Add a workspace loop. Like this. What is this? I can delete that. Okay. Just squash this down since I'm here. Okay. Add workspace loop. Erase workspace loop. Yes. Okay. Loop. What do I have in the model to support this? Audio model. Loops. Yeah, exactly. let's make that a set to make it easier to manipulate. It would be nice if there was an interface in this IMA library. Where it's like update if exists, and if it doesn't exist then throw an exception or something like that. Because I kind of want to assert that it exists. I guess I could do it like workspaces dot find or at like that. And then put it back in after I make changes. I guess that's fine. Insert a core ID. Okay. I'm not sure what that achieves though, because I think loops are handled in here somewhere. Current loop. Okay. Find current loop. How does this work? Oh, okay. Oh, I think it just works now then. Now that I've done that. I think I had everything all ready to go, but I just wasn't inserting the loops into the audio model. Oh, whoops. Should be like this. How did this happen? Don't know how that happened. Look at some other to-dos while it's going. This can be deleted now. I think that's an inaccurate comment. This I need to figure out. Okay, oops, that's working. That's by design. If you enable a loop when it's already inside a loop, then it stays inside that loop until you disable it. It all seems to be working. Or what about deleting? Yes. Okay, good. Great. That seems fine. Okay, track levels. Track levels. Yeah, okay, this level meter is not working at the moment because I deliberately disabled things. So how's it supposed to work right now? Somewhere in here I have this, which is happening over and over again. And I'm doing this. But I guess nothing happens with it. Let's see, responder. Does this happen? Yes, it does. Track peaks. It will be in here. Peak Does this happen somewhere? I imagine there's going to be a to-do at some point. Respond track. Yeah, there it is. So nothing happens. Right. So all of the multi-threading, it seems like I've figured out already. And I am currently in the UI thread with all of the information I need to animate these track level meters. So what I need to do is what? What do I need to do? Workspace container. Just propagate it through here, I suppose. Alright, fine. Workspace container responds to the track peaks. I'm just going to write the same function over and over again to propagate it through this through the scene tree here. Respond track peaks. So I want the current workspace, current visible workspace leader. And if there isn't one, then just return. Track. Get track. Is there a get track? There's no get track. This is pointless. I shouldn't be doing it like this. No. I'm in an object-oriented world now. All of my UI stuff is very object-oriented, so I don't need to be doing this kind of... I don't even need to be here. Let's get rid of this. Let's just go like, where am I here? Import. Somewhere in here I have a layout? No? Layout, yeah, I do have a layout. Layout. Find track with this ID. If it doesn't exist, don't do anything. Otherwise, track peaks. What am I supposed to do with the peaks? Here. Peaks. Oh, it's a signal. It was a signal. But I don't want it to be a signal anymore, because that's stupid. Alright, I need to get the control and propagate it that way. Okay. Right, let's delete this. And delete this. Control. Control, is that control? Yeah. I guess I'll just do this for safety. Set peaks LR. Track control. volume control. Set peaks, LR. We go in here. Set peaks, LR. Control. Where do we go from here? Ah. Oh, okay. Root tree meter. Set peaks. LR. This thing here. Activate, deactivate, okay. Set peaks. Right. I go like this. What is this? Levels, yep. Now get rid of this. Get rid of this. This is really stupid the way I've done this, but it's okay. This is fine for now. Look at this stupid thing. Kind of weird. Oh, okay. This is not needed either. Just keep looking at stuff. I will delete that now. No, I won't. These aren't used anymore. It's in a header file, so it's gonna, whatever. The builds are easy, taking long. I have 37 to-dos left. It's not that bad. It used to be like 537. Okay. Let's see if this just magically works now. Thank you. Whoa. Okay, it's working. Alright, now let's delete this file. I don't need this anymore. Pilot actions. Oh, it's gonna fucking revert everything I just did, isn't it? Of course. Okay. On baked input changed, set has baked input. Yeah, this is happening. I spent like an entire video working on that stuff. Come on, I hate you, Visual Studio. Get rid of this. What is this doing? Fair enough. Get rid of this. 34 left. Oh, same thing here. This is happening. It's fine. Make sure baking graph is updated when we see. Yeah, that's happening. I still haven't sorted that out, but I'll get to that. In fact, let's put a note to make sure I don't forget. Receive choke envelope. What's this? I haven't dealt with macros yet. If the check envelope changes, if check is enabled, trigger a bake of the output. That's happening, I think. Set check envelope. It's doing it regardless of whether or not choke is enabled, actually. I think that's fine. That's happening. Ah, I didn't sort this out. Yeah, macro stuff. Macro stuff is all gonna... I'm just procrastinating on macros. This is all... Okay, well that stuff is done. This, on baked input changed. Clear bitmap. It's this line here. I already know that. Okay, I don't care about this. I don't care about it. Source baked input changed. And source changed. Yeah, this comment is correct. So this function I can eliminate entirely. $28 left. Should set bus ready state to false. There isn't any bus ready state. So that's not needed. Should trigger a bake of the output. Yes, that's happening. Should trigger it, yes, that's going on. Okay, that's all fine. This stuff is not needed. On input, yeah, macro stuff needs to be sorted out. This, I need to do this, yeah. Yeah, warp markers I think are completely broken at the moment. Let's just confirm that warp markers are broken. I don't think I'm handling warp data at all right now. It's just another thing that I was procrastinating on. So it's macros, everything to do with macros pretty much. Not everything. Macro baking and warp markers are I think the two things that I still need to do. Oh, warp markers are working. What? Why are warp markers... Okay, hold on. What is the point of this? I had the default warp pointers. This doesn't get propagated from the block base when this is constructed. Well, apparently it does. It had a default. So it also always starts with one warp marker at the beginning. Apparently that is... I did do that then, and I forgot about it. Where is that even happening? How does that data get... Oh, set warp data. I have an action for it. I don't remember writing this code. On warp data change. That must happen at some point. On warp data changed. Happens in load. Happens here. Okay. Right, fine. It's not needed. These core objects are getting smaller and smaller, and eventually there will be nothing in them at all, and I can just eliminate them, because this is basically objects that shouldn't really exist in the UI thread, but they still do. For legacy reasons. And thanks to this big restructuring that I've done, a lot of these objects are getting smaller and smaller and smaller and don't really have any state in them and only exist just for composition reasons. Like these objects here are basically nothing now. So it's going to be satisfying to do the second phase of this restructuring, which I don't know if I'm going to bother with. There's no reason to do it straight away, but I'll do it eventually. But it's going to be satisfying to get rid of all these pointless objects. They just sort of exist to wire everything together at this point. Right. Oops, I'm looking for all this. 23 left. And I'm ignoring anything to do with the macros. This stuff, what is this? Ah, yeah, this is important. I need to do this. Not yet. I'm going to leave this to do. Basically, oh, this is not what I thought it was actually. Okay, there's two things I need to do. When the audio stream starts, which will happen anytime you go into the settings and change your audio stream settings. There's two things that need to happen. All of the plugin instances need to reinitialize themselves. So I just need to send a little signal to every plugin instance that currently exists in the entire project, just saying, here the audio stream's restarted. Because when the audio stream restarts, the sample rate, the device sample rate might have changed, and all the plugins need to be notified of that. And the other thing I need to do when the audio stream restarts, again because the sample rate has changed, is rebake everything. So that's what this was doing. But it's, I was doing it with like this signal and slot in a really stupid way. So I don't need to do it in such a stupid way anymore. But I'll figure that out later. This stuff, I think I am happy to get rid of now. This is basically superseded by this function, should be baked. Should be baked. Yeah. So all of this is done now. Baking recipe stuff. Baking margin. I need to check this stuff actually. Am I dealing with this margin stuff? Baking margin properly? I don't know if I am. But then this was like generic code that takes into account macros as well. Okay, I'm going to leave this stuff here for now as a reference, because this is relevant for macro baking, which I haven't done yet. Okay, there's more macro stuff, which I'm ignoring, but what is this? And the target size changes. Target size changes. Yeah, there's a workspace. Whatever, I don't know what that is. Don't know what that was doing, but I don't think I need it anymore. Oh, this was just propagating that signal as well. Yeah, this is all rubbish stuff that shouldn't exist anymore. That's protected. On output changed. Where am I referring to that? On output changed. Here. Okay. Well, this was not doing anything. This is all pointless now. Don't need this. What is this? Set sample data, blah 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 blah. Yeah, it's fine. It's all happened. It's all handled in another place now. Okay, so all other than macro stuff, I've basically eliminated the to-dos. I have 19 left, and it's either code that I need to add to handle macro baking, or code that I've left as a reference for when I implement macro baking, or that other thing that I was talking about with the audio stream restarting. Everything else, this is snapshot rendering, which is going to be relevant for macro baking. This is the old snapshot rendering code, or some of it. Oh, what was this? I don't think we need to explicitly remove the lane from the track. This data thing doesn't exist anymore. Yeah, I agree with that. Let's get rid of that. So macro stuff. This is just left here for reference. Okay, that's good. Okay, the code is in a good spot now. So the two things that I need to do. Oh, there's another third thing. Okay. Macro baking and audio stream reinitialization, rebake and plugin init. And then sort out the problems with the receive choke envelopes. And other than that, it's just finding regressions and finding bugs and fixing them. And then before I do, oops, excuse me. Before I before I finalize the build, I have old bugs from the old version that I need to fix. I want to fix all of these. Oh, this, yeah, I'm not going to fix that. I'll fix that at some point. That's not that important. Yeah, these are like the important bugs that I want to fix before the next build. And then I need to do release notes. Where is... This is the release notes that I started writing. For 32.0. Okay,